The Vanishing Card Case by Nicholas Lawrence and Penguin Magic is a visual new version of the Vanishing Card Box Classic. It used to be used with a weird magic prop looking card case, but now it uses a commercial card clip. However, there are a few drawbacks with this. Is this right for you? Today, we're going to find out. This is an observation test. I have a card clip, they can examine it. And what color is the card clip? Black? Yes. Now what color is the pack of cards? Red? Also right. Now question number 3 is where things get hard. Did you see the cards jump? Well, yeah, they're gone now. And that's a trick you can do with the Vanishing Card Case. Now, if you find this review helpful, please consider hitting that subscribe button below because it helps me get these videos out to more people so I can help them figure out whether they should shell out their hard-earned money on a trip. And I'm going to help you do that today with the Vanishing Card trick. Vanishing Card Case, sorry. What do you get when you purchase this? When you purchase the Vanishing Card Case by Nicholas Lawrence, you get this very nicely well-designed box. Inside the box, you'll receive your black card clip, which is made of plastic. Inside of the black card clip, you're going to get your gimmick box. The gimmick is a very interesting gimmick, and it fits inside the card clip. Now, what is the quality of the gimmick? Let's talk about this. The card clip is pretty nice. It is plastic, and it has multiple components to it. The other thing, the box, is also pretty cool. It's also made of plastic. The thing with the gimmick is that there is a very thin border that helps the gimmick match with the color of the card clip, so everything blends. That thin border on mine has started to slightly wear. And the border is not something you'll need 100%. You'll be able to do the effect even without the border, but the border is an added convincer that'll help everything blend together perfectly. So you will want to be careful with that. The gimmick itself should last you a very long time. There's no threads or anything that should break. The gimmicks are plastic, so they're pretty good quality. The handling itself is also pretty cool, but you can't show all the sides of the gimmick. You can show 3 of them. This shouldn't cause too much suspicion as long as you're not drawing too much attention to it. I did have to modify my handling a little bit because my hands are a little bit small for the handling Craig Petty teaches. So the main grip did not work for me. I modified the handling and now it works perfectly. You will need to put in a little bit of work to make sure everything's comfortable with your hands and to make sure you get the handling down, but it's relatively slight free. It's pretty easy to do. Sometimes at the end, if you're too close to the spectator, just a few inches from their face, the gimmick does have a bit of discrepancies. But as long as you keep everything moving, then they should not notice the discrepancy, right? Because they don't know what to look for. They're not familiar with the texture, with the look of card clips. Now, how is the tutorial? The tutorial is good. Craig Petty does the tutorial, and it's a little less than an hour long. Craig goes through 3 very cool routines and some extra ideas. There's 3 fully fleshed out routines, and there's some added ideas at the end that aren't fully fleshed out. The first one is a plain vanish where the card case disappears from the clip and teleports wherever you want. The second is a color changing deck routine that is also very cool. The final routine is a little more complex. It's a fun card routine. It was a good tutorial. He'll show you some very cool handlings and also some subtleties you can use. However, keep in mind, it is a little bit more difficult to do some of the handlings if you have really small hands. If you do have really small hands, you'll probably still be able to perform the Vanishing Card Case. You'll just have to modify the grip from a vertical grip that Craig Petty teaches to a diagonal or a horizontal grip. Is this a social media or a real life effect? This is very visual, so it could work for both social media and real life. What are the angles like? This does have a little bit of angle sensitivity. You won't want to do it surrounded, that's for sure. However, it is very easy to manage the angles, even if the audience is at a bad angle, which you wouldn't necessarily want. But even if they are at a bad angle, it is a deck of cards. Spectators don't know the concept of what a gaffed box or a gaffed deck looks like. So as long as you have really good misdirection, it likely won't register in the spectator's brain. And I get this from Cold Case by Greg Wilson, a project, because he was talking about the gaff in that project. And that is a very good gaff. And even if the spectators got a glimpse of the bad side, it wouldn't register necessarily that they're seeing a gimmick, because no one knows exactly what the gimmick is going to look like. They just assume it's a regular box. The brain makes that assumption. Now, with angles themselves, the angles should range from 90 degrees to about 140 degrees, depending on the handling you're using. If you keep the deck in a more vertical position, you can improve your angles. Are there any live performances? Yes, there are live performances in the tutorial. Is this examinable? Well, at the start of the routine, the card clip can be examined, but the box of cards cannot be examined. And the card clip is probably where most of the heat is on, especially initially, because a lot of people have never seen a card clip before, most likely. Handing it out at the beginning gets most of the heat off of the card clip. At the end of the routine, the card clip is not immediately examinable, but Craig does teach a ditch, so you can hand the card clip out after going to your pocket. The thing is that for most of the routines, the box disappears and teleports somewhere or changes color. The new card case is where the heat is on after the trick, as long as there's a place for it to go. If the box of cards just disappears and it doesn't go anywhere, then the heat is on the card clip. But as long as it has a place to go, then the heat is on with the new tuck case. So if you make the tuck case disappear and it teleports to your pocket, the tuck case in your pocket is where the heat, well, most of the heat is on. Not as much heat is on the card clip. So it's a similar story for color changing pack. It is changing to another thing, and that new thing, which can be money, it can be just a pack of cards without a box, or it can be a different color deck like a blue deck. As long as it's changing into something, you can hand that thing out. And the gimmick does come in a red bicycle box. At least it looks like that. And immediately after the box of cards has disappeared, there's a bit of a discrepancy if the spectators are looking too closely, but as long as you keep everything in motion, they won't notice. Now let's talk about the difficulty and practicality of the effect. The gimmick does do most of the work for you, but when you first learn it, there's a little bit of a knack to it. It's practical for many different environments, from close-up to parlor to even stage, if you scaled this up. Is there any DIY? Nope, the gimmick comes ready to go right out of the box. Pocket space. All you have to carry around in your pockets, well, it depends on the routine. Some of the routines, for example, the routine where you take the box and the box disappears from the card clip, teleports to your pocket, you'll need 2 pockets for that routine. And that is something that some people won't like, because and that's something you want to be aware of, because pocket space comes at a premium. If you're doing the routine where the deck changes color from red to blue or a different color, then all you need is 1 pocket, and you can carry this in your pocket, and you could even potentially have other stuff in your pocket. But yeah, keep in mind, for the color changing deck, you need 1 pocket. For the vanishing card case, where it teleports back to your pocket, that you need 2 pockets for. So keep in mind the pocket space. What is the reset like? This trick does not reset instantly, but it does reset fairly quickly. It takes a couple of seconds, and you won't want to do it in front of your audience. You'll want to do it when walking table to table. What is the price? The vanishing card case costs $40 US. Is it worth the price? I think it's well priced. If you like what you see and this is right for you, it is worth the price. Now, is it better than the original Vanishing Card box? This will vary from person to person. Different people have different preferences. The vanish of the original one, I feel like, is a little bit more clean, but a card clip is a lot more justified than that, whatever that other thing is, that other card holder. Now, that's the main point that they say. That's the main selling point for the Vanishing Card Case. The thing is, although yes, a card clip is more widely known than the old prop that was used, yes, it is more well known. However, neither of them are really something that spectators are super familiar with. No, spectators have never seen one of those old card boxes that was used for the old Vanishing deck. But it's very rare you'll come across someone who has seen a card clip either, unless they're a gambler or a magician. So, in a sense, yes, this is better. But in a sense, the other one is better. The vanish for the other one was more clean and you could show more sides of the gimmick. So it's going to be up to the performer to decide which one they prefer, the old version or this version. I think both of them are pretty cool effects. I like that you can do a lot more with this. It's totally more versatile. You can do color changes, you can do teleportations and more. There's more versatility with this. But the other one I feel like was a little bit more clean because you could show more sides of the gimmick. But to each their own. What are the pros and cons with this? The pros are this uses a card clip as opposed to the weird looking old version. Also, you can do multiple different routines with this. Whereas the old version could only do one routine. Or two routines, I think. This is also very well priced. The gimmick does a lot of work for you. It'll last you a long time. It's super visual. The tutorial's good. There's no DIY required. The card clip is examinable at the start, and this is practical for many different environments. The cons are, there are some discrepancies, and it's not examinable at the end without a ditch. Also, the angles aren't perfect, and there is a bit of a reset. Also, it's a little bit harder. You'll have to modify the handling if you have very small hands. But what percent am I giving the Vanishing Card Case? I'm giving this an 80%. I think this is very cool. It'll be for some people, won't be for everyone, as with most magic tricks. But I hope I help you determine whether the Vanishing Card trick or the Vanishing Card Case is right for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.